What's the motherfucking deal, man? Welcome to the Den. If you're not familiar with the Den is the best conversation on the internet. You may ask yourself why, or if you knew, I guess you wouldn't ask yourself. You'd probably ask, me or maybe one of the Den folk. But the Den is the best conversation on the internet because of all of you wonderful people who come and join each and every night, with or without YouTube notifications, and just the insight, the wonderful perspectives that you provide and contribute to this community. And again, it is my honor, it is my privilege, but most of all, it is my pleasure to host these conversations Monday through Friday. Try to shoot for 9 o'clock, but for some reason, last week after I put all of the streams up early, it seems like none of them after that sent out any notifications that, the stream will be going off at any particular time. And then it wouldn't even let people get, trying to find it. So even then, like I say, the one was for tonight was set for 9 o'clock. And I was ready. I was actually early. I told myself I'm going to do better each week. I'm going to improve on my timing, doing certain little things and allotting things. And I'm just sitting here. I'm like, well, okay. I don't know if it's not showing up. Nobody, usually the chat is active prior to. So I moved it back 30 minutes. But, I'm going to be aiming for 9 o'clock. Maybe I have to change the method or something in which I upload them or whatever. But anyway, we're going to be talking about who is the prize. It's been an interesting conversation when it comes to relationships. Should be an interesting conversation tonight, but we'll see ultimately what happens with that. But let's see who we have joining us, and then let's get into some good conversation. And again, like I said, I hope everybody is doing well. Excuse me. I hope life is treating you good. And all the other good things that come with life. Bell, John, what's the motherfucking deal? Allure, Mr. Culture, aka the Don of the Discord, what's the motherfucking deal? Let's see. Let me see. D-Love is in the building. What's the motherfucking deal? 17, Louis 17 in the building. What's the motherfucking deal? It's so weird how I connect certain things. Footballer 503, what's the motherfucking deal? Heidi. Hello, Heidi. 335, what's the motherfucking deal? Prepaid Mike, what's the motherfucking deal? Why do anybody comes here now? Because, well, Heidi, you're never here. You got, German people have CPT. Let's see. Unbeaten, what's the motherfucking deal? Heidi is Doja Cat. Let's see. K Grace, what's the motherfucking deal? Unbeaten, what's the motherfucking deal? This aka Mr. Keith, OG Triple OG. Man, look, Jack, let me tell y'all something, right? Shout out to Mr. Keith, man. I hope you're doing well. Hope life is treating you good. I know that you're working on completing a beautiful story. And I hope that all works out for you. But I cannot help. I don't know if y'all seen like the TikTok of the old school dude with the boots, right? That goes around. He's jamming Frankie Beverly and Maze, and he even has his little boot. Somebody posted it in the Den Facebook group. But there's like 2 or 3 of them, right? And little old school dude, got some little dreads with it. He comes out and man, I'm gonna tell you, like, the dude is a super player. That's how I imagine is Mr. Keith. Like, but the dude come out, he got a little shuffle going, and he has the boots that match the fucking shirt every time, and he comes out like in 4 or 5 different units in each video. But the dude is a motherfucking player. Got his ring, got a little gold tooth and everything. If there was a such thing as a boot battle, I'm taking old school, and I'm almost willing to put him up against any Mexican Because let's be honest, if it's coming down to a boot battle, nobody's gonna beat the Mexicans. With the fucking long, extra, pointy fucking boots. See, he has some boots that fit in that category. So I think I could take him as a teammate. I'm not going to participate, but I think with him we can win. But that motherfucker there is, he's cold. He's a super player. But that's what I imagine Keith is. Every time I see that dude, I think of Mr. Keith. So shout out to Mr. Keith. Isley and let me see, Bad and Bougie. What's the motherfucking deal? Do 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 do. All right. So, fucking Heidi's terrible. And Heidi, you ain't black, so I don't want to hear that. And I know you are voting for Biden. So let's get into it. I want to talk about the prize, right? And there's this thing. I know, again, I talk to y'all all the time. I've been easing up a lot lately, but I like to lurk in the Twitter sphere from time to time, right? And I see things. I see things. I see things. I see things. And a lot of these things are said by women who are probably crazy, but I see things. And there's arguments, there's discussions, especially in black Twitter, right? And who's the prize in a relationship, the man or the woman? And there's lots of different things going back and forth as to their reasoning as to why, this, that, or the third. But what we're going to do tonight is I want to know your personal opinions. I want to know your personal thoughts on this matter. I have a few different views, and I guess the way I would look at it is this. I think it comes down to the individual. It's going to be a fucking generic ass answer. It's not the answer I want to give, but it is what it is. But it comes down to the individual, right? Because you might score you a breadwinner or a athlete or whatever it is, ladies, and somebody's going to be everything that you want, right? Well, if you're getting everything you want out of it, and you're really not saying that you're not bringing anything to the table. Obviously, there has to be something about you that you would like if they want to be with you. Maybe, I don't know, but aren't you? Wouldn't he be the prize because he's providing everything? So it's like a prize is something like that you want that benefits you, like generally, like a new car or something like that. Or was the fucking Price is Right, or some shit like that, like something that like aids your life in some kind of way. And say you get the rich guy, the tall guy, the handsome guy, all the stuff that you want, right? He's all these things. And let's be honest. I love all you ladies in the den. I think you're all wonderful. Don't take any of this personally. But if we're talking on the grand scale of life, most of them, most of you probably are in the average category, right? And that's just being real. I'm an average man. We're talking about when we talk about this thing too. You can't just think about like the people in your neighborhood. I'm the baddest bitch on my block. You got to compare yourself like to the whole wide world scale. So let's be realistic, all right? So basically, average people, right? And so say you go get the superstar that gets all these things, right? That gives you everything you want. Well, again, wouldn't he be the prize if he's providing you all of the life aiding, benefiting things, that you want? But yet, these are the things that women want, but yet they still want to be viewed as the prize, the majority of the responses that you see. So, and a lot of them, it's a situation where you don't really want to bring anything to the relationship. You don't even really have goals or dreams, then you may have a litter already with you. And, you want that to be a whole part of the deal. It's like a lot of things that go with it, and yet you still want to be viewed as a prize. And I'm not saying that, well, just because this, that, or third, a person should be demeaned or they should be looked down upon or anything like that. But you have to be aware when you have certain traits or things that are going on with you that are a burden, or they can make things a little bit less convenient than another person's situation. We can take knowledge of that. Now, same thing though, right? You could be a guy and let's not even make the circumstances bad. Say you're in a crazy place in life. Maybe you're a college student, or maybe you say you're a college student. You meet your nice chick while you're in college, right? and you kind of figuring stuff out. You don't know where you want to go in life, and she helps you get you there. She motivates you, or maybe you dropped out of college. She helps motivates you, get you back in school, and get you on the right path, and inspires you to pursue your dreams and things of that nature. Now, it may not be a financial thing, and it may not be take care, but helping you get your life back. Then she's the prize. She helped you with that life assisting advice. Especially if they support you while you were down or while things may not have been in your best situation or best favor. Then a woman like that is a prize. And I'm saying again, in kind of this generic way, because most people aren't like that. Most people are not. Most women aren't that supportive, and most dudes are not going to fit into all of the categories that women want when they say they want quote unquote a nice guy. But we already know what happens to the nice guys. And so my thing is, okay, well, you take these things out, and well, then what's left? Well, I think what you have left is most people aren't fucking prizes, and most people should be happy anybody wants to fucking be with them in the first place. I think that's where we are, but I think we have a little bit of we love ourselves. We have a little bit of ego about ourselves, and so we feel this and that. But I think women are, as a whole, are a bit more arrogant when it comes to this kind of conversation, and society's encouraged them to be that way. Like, you don't know if it's overcompensation for, you can talk about the decades and decades of where women weren't necessarily treated as equals, or they were treated as the quote unquote weaker sex, or whatever it is. And so maybe, the media is pushing all this girl power stuff to, encourage it. Maybe women are buying into it, not realizing that, again, like I said, it makes you come across as more arrogant, not necessarily more powerful or more anything. You know what I mean? I think it's hype. But, so I think you have that issue. So, as I'm saying, I wanted to pull up some examples, but I didn't really get. I didn't really get the examples I wanted to the way I wanted to. I wanted to actually like cut them out and have them as some little squares and pull them up, not actually go down, Twitter and pull them all up. You know what I'm saying? So, but there is something I guess I can't. Again, I should have. But like, here's an example. One says, if we're going to go on a date and you don't offer to pay for babysitting and a to-go box meal for my child, we're not going. This is a woman who would consider herself a prize. And this is what I say about men, too, when you're out there dating, especially, or I try to tell women to have the perspective of a man you're dating if you're a single mom or something like that. Because, again, it's not only you that this man has to be attracted to and fall in love with, but he also, has to be able to accept the personality of your child or multiple children when you only have to deal with that woman. So it's a different deal on his side. Put yourself in their shoes. I'm gonna be honest. Like, if that's what it takes to date you, and I could get it. I could see a guy saying, "Okay, well, I understand. A kid comes with that, and all this." But no, like to have those expectations. Dating is a privilege. So, that you've taken on that thing, like those are matters that for you to be able to accept going out on a date, I think that you would have to have taken care of beforehand. But as y'all can probably tell, I have not been reading the chat at all. Not a single bit, not a minute of it. And now I am going to jump back in, see what I possibly have missed. And then we're going to get ready to open up the lines and talk about something. Like I said, I want to know your thoughts on who is the prize, and maybe in the background I'll pull up a couple of these other examples that I wanted to show, and we shall see, your thoughts and y'all's feelings on this. Let's talk about Honcho's burdens. What? I'll never be your beast of burden. Like I'm my own fucking burden, right? It would be Shelley Long popping up, being wrong about this topic as usual. This is when Shelley pops up when it's time to be completely wrong about something. It's always good to see you, Shelley. And I'm glad that you are joining us this evening. But you always pop up when you just ready to be completely wrong about something. I mean, I love it. I'm glad to see you here. I'm glad you didn't catch the the pandemic, but you know, we know we know. So there's that whole thing. Um, is Professor Trill in here this evening? Let me go back and check and see. Uh, because Professor Trill is not so bad of a guy, you know. And because I was muted on the Saul show, he reached out on multiple uh, platforms to try to let me know that I was muted, so he's all right. So which one? Mm-hmm. So which video? I didn't watch that. I needed to I need to check that out. I didn't watch that one, but I definitely need to. Appreciate the love, 335. Make it rain. Hold up. That's what I'm talking about. You know what? Y'all can't see it, but there's a pile of small virtual dollars uh, growing, amassing in my lap. I guess that's a better way to say it. So there's a. What do I have? Two things on here. Do I have two event things on here? I guess I did. Let's cover that one. But appreciate the love, Mr. 325. Thank you, sir. Uh, it's fucking cloud. I have lost all train of thought. Where were we? Oh, I was actually looking at the chat. Yeah. And then, oh, yes, the Doja Cat. The Doja Kitty. What is Doja Kitty? What is her nature? What is her background? I always thought she was of some type of mixed Afrocentric uh, heritage. You know, I try to avoid doing stereotypical things, but I saw some video she was in. Uh, I have no problem eating watermelons in public. So there's that. You know, you can feel however you wanna. You know, you feel however you want to feel about that. Fucking Drake. Um, so, that's what it is, man. I'm saying about love, family, and friends. Okay, okay. Yeah, man. Look. I'm telling you, Mr. Keith the prize right there. You better check it out. So, let's see. Spenders and savers. That's interesting. Uh, they canceled Doja Cat. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I seen that man, look. You know, I say I'm against the whole OnlyFans thing, but you know, if Doja Cat out there struggling, you know, I'll do my part. Can I count on you guys to do your part? For just fucking $11 a month, you can help a canceled, struggling South African singer, rapper, entertainer, whatever the fuck she is. This is a terrible, terrible thing. I should probably stop now, but fuck it, let's keep it going. What are you talking about? You ain't got my fucking microphone. This is bullshit. I was doing this shit earlier today. This is crazy. I mean, we just had a whole. It's been a very long time dealing with this shit earlier today. I know what's up. Let me see. Give me just a moment. I think I know what the problem is. Man, I watched Ace Ventura the other day, right? It used to be one of my favorite movies when I was young. Ace Ventura, I mean, Jim Carrey, y'all be waiting till motherfuckers die to appreciate people. Y'all better show Jim Carrey, give him his flowers now. Because Jim Carrey is one of the greats. Like, there's very few people who could do that, like, that physical comedy. And, like, he had a way about doing it. I want to say Williams had kind of a way, but I guess you could say the fiddling with the characters and shit. Why the fuck is this shit doing? Give me just a moment. I'm highly upset that we're dealing with this. It's been a very long time trying to fuck with this shit earlier, and now it's back to the shenanigans. Yes, this is what I want. I don't want to do that. Don't give me this option. Don't do that one. I just want the fucking main one. What are you doing? Why do you guys want to be difficult? Why do you guys want to make this an issue for me, huh? What the fuck? Alright, whatever. I don't know what's going on. We'll fucking make it work. It is what it is. We'll see. If the sound is off, then we'll try the whole thing again. But I don't know, man. Let's see. So give me a second. Let me put the number up. Let's get some calls in this evening. And again, I hope you're all doing well. I hope life is treating you in a top-notch fashion. Top-notch hoes get the most, not the lesser. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this evening?
Honcho?
Yes, can you hear me? Right now, I don't want to do that. Hold
on. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
There we go.
Okay. All right.
Nope, I still can't hear you.
Well, I guess not. Let's see. Yes. How about now? Can you hear me now? I don't know what's going on here. It's always one thing or another.
I can hear you as long as I have the podcast up.
Okay, give me just a moment. Let me figure out what the fuck is going on here. That's what I need to happen, but that's not what's happening. Okay.
Is it maybe a mute on your end?
Nah, it's something, but I don't know why the fuck it won't accept the right mic. This is what happened. Call me right back, Miss Bell. I won't take anybody else's call but yours. If anybody else is calling, I'm gonna hang up on them. I'll make sure we get your call in.
Sure.
All right. I don't know what's happening here for some reason. Give me a second. Let me X this out. Let me bring this back. And we're going to try this again for whatever reason. Y'all know how it goes. Look, this is a den. It's a sad state of affairs, but come on, asshole. Well, is this what we're doing right now? Is this really what we're doing? All right. Give me this. Let me have this. Do this. Hopefully, this is working. Because you guys could hear, right? But y'all could, okay, so y'all could hear, and I didn't hear. Let me see. What the hell is Heidi talking about? What are you talking about here? Heidi, you're a terrible person. Oh, I apologize. And I did overlook it as I was switching to the things. Thank you, Miss K. Grace. Says if you don't vote for me, then you ain't black. You ain't black. Uncle Sleepy Joe Biden. Yeah, it's a very and thank you, Heidi, for pointing it out. I saw it eventually anyway. You're just a hater. I didn't have the thing up because I was trying to fix the phone. But thank you, Miss Grace. But yeah, Uncle Joe, man. You know what's really pathetic to me is the people who are out there defending it, right? And so what I mean by, if you support a candidate, fine. Cool. But if in any way you pointed anything out about you believing this, that, or the third about Donald Trump, I mean, you can basically make the same accusations against Joe Biden in almost every way. But what you have is a lot of the same people who had feelings about whatever. Uh, I hate you. You're a terrible person. You're the worst person I've ever seen in my life, ever. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this evening?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. All right.
All right, we got it.
Cool. And the crazy thing is, I did basically absolutely nothing, and just whatever happens sometimes. But how are you this evening, Miss Bell?
Good. It was really quiet Memorial Day. I went to family and had a slight cookout and came home, and it's just been kind of quiet.
Yes, and you know, let me talk about that for a second. Memorial Day is such a weird thing because you say Happy Memorial Day, but is a memorial like a happy thing? You know, it's kind of a somber moment. You know what I mean? So
Here's the thing. People don't realize Memorial Day is not... We can always thank soldiers in our military, but it's a day to mourn the deaths of the soldiers and the death of the loved ones. And a lot of people end up thanking more military on Memorial Day weekend when they gave their lives, but we're there to celebrate the ones that gave it all.
yes, absolutely.
And that's sort of it. I guess I'm kind of linked with it now all the time because at the end of the week it'll be a year since my husband's passed.
Man, how do you feel
Yeah.
about that?
It's complicated. I am happy that he has not had to go through and watch this COVID virus because it's horrible. And I'm happy that he's out of pain. I do miss him, but I'm slowly healing. I'm not ready to date yet, but I'm just taking life one day at a time. And you ask about the prize, and my thought on that is that what our expectations are for the relationship is the prize, or is it our wants going into the relationship? Or is, because we're talking about couples, right? We're not just talking about dating.
I guess you could say, I think more so in the dating category. 'Cause I guess once you are a couple, I guess you've secured the prize or you've procured the prize. At that point, you've got the thing hopefully you've got the thing that you want. So I would say more dating than couples, and from the view of, who is the prize in the relationship, who is more of the prize, is it the man or the woman?
I think it depends on what each person brings to the table. It's not all financial. It's not all... It's about how they work as a team. That's what the prize really is that people completely miss. The prize is not whether she's a be-all, end-all, or he can't do without him. It's the fact of what do you do as a team and as a couple that's the prize. If you're a couple and you're at odds with each other all the time, neither one of you is going to have the prize. And if you're both bringing in baggage from past relationships, you're not going to be a prize to the other person because all you're going to need to do is work on yourself. So it's having your shit together and being ready to be in a partnership is being the prize. It's not about looks. It's about love. It's about knowing that that person at the end of the day, the end of the year, the end of the decade is going to be there. They're the person that you want to be your last text at night and your first phone call in the morning. That's the prize.
Okay. I don't think I have any dispute for that.
Yeah. That's the good stuff. The other thing is that dating is kind of a cesspool because, you know, you've got that old saying, you know, they're just not into you, but yet they'll hang on to it to figure out until somebody else is. Or they're not the prize when you're staying in it to figure out who's the next person that you want to have a relationship with. Or they're the prize when you don't have a side chick.
Yeah, definitely.
Or a side guy.
So, you know, as a person, even though you say you're not ready to get back into the scene yet, do you view yourself as a prize for someone in the future?
I'd hope to think that I bring enough to the table to have a good partnership.
What do you think would be like the number one thing? If somebody was to ask you, say this is speed dating, and they were to ask you, what do you feel like you bring to the table? What would your answer be to that?
Genuine humor. That's really important for somebody to be able to have humor. For somebody to have their baggage in check. It doesn't mean that we all don't have baggage all the time, because we do, but have at least most of it worked through. Being self-sufficient in the fact of either having a job or a career, making sure that you can cover your own expenses. You don't have to be wealthy, but, you know, there's nothing wrong with a ice cream stand date and spending $3-4 rather than spending $50 at a restaurant. Being creative, like going for a walk and having a picnic, or I don't know, things like that. It doesn't have to be expensive, but be creative. Spending time together.
So you feel like the time is most important.
Yeah. Because I was separated from my husband for a long time, with him in long-term care. So I missed that companionship. I don't have to have somebody up my behind every day, and I don't think I would want to have somebody there every single day. You know, being clingy is a turnoff, even for women.
Okay. So, and this is, let's reverse the scenario. This is a speed dating scenario. Well, what is the first thing that stands out? It's not, because I don't want to make it about a physical thing. What is the first thing that you notice when you speak to someone? And if it's maybe in hopes of possibly becoming something more than maybe just a friendship or something, like what would be the first thing that you notice in conversation with a person?
Their voice, the tone, the message, facial expression, body language. It's not the attractiveness, it's how they deliver the message.
Okay.
And there's a difference when we're attracted to somebody than when we just like somebody. We tend to overlook the flaws,
I agree.
whether they're physical or psychological.
That's true, definitely. And then, what do you think that is? Do you think it's the infatuation, or the anticipation of something? Or, I mean, what do you think? We just early on we tend to overlook things that become obvious. Once you've kind of been with somebody for a while.
Sometimes we connect with people on levels that will never be sexual with them, but we just connect with them as human beings. And there's other people that you might be sexually attracted to and have a one-off with, but never see them again. It's about the two people deciding if they're going to commit to one another, or if they're in the headspace to even have that kind of a commitment. And what each person is willing to do and put on the table to be a team.
Okay. Um. So overall, you say if you're looking for somebody, you're more concerned with the team, the mutual benefit, not what somebody is getting over the other person, but where what is it? The sum of the parts is what is it? Is the sum of the parts is greater than the whole, or however that saying goes,
Yeah,
something like that.
the sum is greater than the individual. The thing is everybody comes into it with an agenda, whether they want to accept that or not. We all have an agenda. It's whether you're honest with yourself and you have your objectives and your boundaries in check, and not hurting somebody in the process if it's not going to work, and being able to walk away, because that's the hardest thing.
All right. I guess I have no further input. Is there anything else you would like to say?
Nope, I'm pretty good on that, so I'd love to hear what everybody else's answers are. So that being said, I'm good for the night.
All right. Well, Miss Bell, I thank you for getting the party started. The bell has rung. Class is in session, and thank you for calling in. I hope you have a good evening.
All right, good night.
Good night, Miss Bell. All right, now that we got the line somewhat in operation, good deal. Shout out to Miss Bell for getting the party started this evening. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening?
Oh man, it's unbeaten, man.
Unbeaten. What's the motherfucking deal, man? What's on your mind this evening, sir?
All right, man. The topic is who was the prize, right?
Correct. Yes, sir.
All right. I'm a real scientific type of dude, real into psychology.
Okay.
All right. Just my perspective, right? I think women tend to think that they're the prize due to, I don't know, just Disney and just what they've been taught. You know what I'm saying? Just what they've been taught until it's, to a certain point, it's like they just got to exist for them to be the prize. Whereas the men, I think, we perceive ourselves to be a prize when we go out there to go to college and get a degree, get a good job, or you build your own company, whatever it is. And you feel like though you're able to provide and protect for yourself, and now you're on your victory lap looking for your queen on the side. But as far as like how I look at it, like who is the prize, I don't like Miss Bell really hit it on the head. I don't think the prize is necessarily men or women. I think the prize is the relationship that you're going to build, right? Because ultimately, when you look at it, it's like, what's the goal of either one of the two, right? You want to be looked at. The goal for basically on both genders is the relationship, right? Women want a relationship that's loving, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, the man of their dreams, the prince charmer, whatever it is that they're looking for, that's the goal, right? And so, and the men vice versa, right? So the goal or the prize is the relationship. It's not necessarily a gender, right? And just one more thing, like I was thinking about, it's like, yo, calling somebody a prize or a gender a prize is like, it's like making it into a possession. Like, you know what I'm saying? I've you know what I'm saying, completed this course and now I have this possession. Or I've won the race and now I got this possession. And honestly, I think the relationship, or generally how I would want my relationship, is that I'm my own individual, she's her own individual, and we come together to build this union together. You know what I'm saying? We have the same morals and ethics or whatever it is that, you know what I'm saying, we bond together on that same frequency, and we continue to build, and you know what I mean? That's the prize. That's what we're both looking for as the prize.
Okay, I can respect that. I mean, that's a nice way to put it. And I think that, do you think that's a problem that we have a lot this day and age, that people view each other as possessions more than, individual entities?
Yeah, absolutely. I really don't know where it comes from, honestly. But yeah, like possessions, like I guess, like, man, this taking to completely different things. I'm like, yo, like this world is so it's sexualized, and everything gets viewed through the lens of sex. To where, like, I can't say certain things without, you know what I'm saying, around the homies without saying no homo.
Correct.
Or pause. we sitting here having a conversation about basketball. Say, Kawhi got the best D in the league, and now I got to say pause after that.
Yeah.
It's you know what I meant.
Exactly.
Ain't no, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no funny business behind that. But yet I have to say, I'm just like, honestly, I really don't know where it comes from. But I do realize that people look at it very sexualized, look at it very possession-wise for whatever reason.
Yeah, and I would definitely have to agree with you. I mean, I think when you look at most relationships, they seem to have that kind of possessive vibe. But it seems like the more maybe toxic relationship, but it seems like the people you see that are genuinely happy maybe have a different. It doesn't seem like they have that. That's a whole different topic, so we won't get into that. But it seems like, again, like they have kind of more of that mutual appreciation and understanding. So, but yeah, and I would agree with you about everything being over sexualized. That's an issue I have too, because the thing about it's when you say the no homo thing that makes it homo. It's like, instead of just normally having a conversation and not thinking about it, when you say something like no homo, that's when it creates like a homo situation. Like, you wouldn't even think of it as anything like that until somebody says some stuff. So I definitely agree with you on that. I don't know where it came from. I think it's also part of the alphabet mafia implementing their methods and confusion and all that other stuff into the conversation. They say the first thing you attack is the language, and then you start wearing people down. So I think that's part of it.
I mean, I guess they say, like, sex sells,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah, like you look at it like, as far as like rap goes, I'm a big hip hop head, but like, look at all the like female rappers. Almost every one of them is hypersexualized.
Correct.
You don't have a female Jay-Z. Right? I mean, yes, Jay-Z had his past. He's selling. Look, we know this, but like the evolution, we've never seen that from a female rapper. We don't have a female Kanye to take risks and jump off the deep end or something. He probably would have been killed for. People gonna say, oh, you know what I'm saying, like 808s and Heartbreaks, that album took a huge leap on that. You don't have like just a female counterpart to these male counterparts that, like, where is it at? Like, it's just overly sexualized on the female side of the game.
And why do you think that is? Do you think that it's because the people in charge of putting a lot of this music out don't think that society will entertain a lyrical female? Do you think women who enjoy rap maybe don't put themselves out there like that because maybe they grew up on the more raunchy side of the genre? I mean, or maybe women just aren't that good of lyricists? Like, why do you think there are no real? There's no real female Jay-Z. There's no real female Kanye's that are doing things that are changing the game.
Man, I don't think that there's that many women that are really interested in rapping, and then the ones that were interested in rapping are the ones that got caught up in the system, and the system turned them that way.
Yeah.
Right? You can look at pictures of Nicki Minaj before. She don't look like Nicki Minaj now.
Yeah.
So I mean, I just think that we don't have, like, the surplus is just not there for it. You have a overwhelming surplus of men rappers, trash, good, and great, but on females it just is very selective.
Yeah. Do you ever think that there would be a female who was a game changer on the level of Missy Elliott?
Not really.
Because here's my thing about Missy, and I'm being biased, but like when I think of quality female rappers, I think of Missy because, again, she kind of fits the mold. She was out there, she did something different, she had a very unique sound, she took risks. I'm not saying she was producing her own stuff, but she took risks, she was creative. It wasn't always trying to dress half-ass naked, and you can say, well, she was a big girl back then, whatever. You see now, they still do. But she had, and it's not like she didn't have her song where she talked a little more perverse, but she also had a lot of songs that were versatile. Had just generally good songs that anybody could kind of jam to. I thought she was talented. I thought she was lyrical. I just thought she I feel like she's an artist who's timeless. Like I think her music would have came into play during any decade from the '80s up to now. That's just kind of my thoughts. So I mean, I might be putting you on the spot. You may not think of Missy like that, so I'm asking that. But you may not have the same views of Missy as I do.
Yeah.
So.
The only there's 3 female rappers I can think of right now. There's Dreezy out of Chicago, Young and May, and this new one. I don't even know how to pronounce her name. I don't even know if that is her name. It's Chica. I think she's out of like Alabama. She's like a big girl.
Alabama. Oh, goddamn. Okay.
Alabama, Mississippi. She's somewhere from in that little range right in there.
Yeah. Okay. Throw some D's on that. All right. Heidi, appreciate the love. Thank you for the super chat. You are.
Hey, call in one time.
Yeah. Any day now. So that's my thoughts on that. Okay, all right. Any other thoughts there, Mr. Unbeat?
Let me see. Is there any other books I can recommend? I got that last time. I'm on my phone. I got my books on my phone.
Oh.
See if I can find me one. Come on, load up. I'm pretty sure you've already read Outwitting the Devil.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a minute since I have though. It's been quite some time.
I just picked that up. Okay, yeah, The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday.
You said The Obstacle's the Way?
Yeah.
The Way. And said Ryan Holiday?
Yeah.
Gotcha. The hell, Heidi, just watch Meet the Parents. Okay. So that's the book recommendation, The Obstacle's the Way by Ryan Holiday. I'm definitely have to take a look into it. But that's a bet, Mr. Unbeaten Man. Well, I appreciate you calling in, and I appreciate you sharing your thoughts with us this evening.
All right.
All right, you have a good one. All right. Interesting. I put up a tweet up there just a second ago, and to get y'all's thoughts on that. I've seen. I get your jokey jokes, Heidi. I get your jokey jokes. Sometimes I just have to translate them, but then but yeah, Misty, man, not Misty. Misty can't rap. Missy was one of the best in the game. I really feel like she was underappreciated when it comes to when people talk about great rappers. Because she wasn't flat. Like, I think the game's got it all fucked up. Like, and honestly, some of the bigger girls are probably some of the better rappers. Think about it. Fucking Mia X is probably one of the best female rappers ever. Just never got the love. Like, never got that love on that scale. But she could shit on probably everybody who was mainstream for the most part during that era. Mia X could fucking never. I mean, she was better than most niggas. Like, let's be honest. On that Hot Boys and Girls, she more than held her own. Like, you know what I'm saying? She might have had the fucking best verse on that song. So, again, it oh, stop. And, she kept it real. Like, again, yeah, you didn't see all the plastic surgery. You didn't see all the crazy shit a lot of motherfuckers do, especially once they start getting older. And then again, like once her kind of music kind of resurfaced after that Super Bowl, who was it, with Katy Perry or whoever, it's like you see even the younger generation who listen to something, like they embraced it, like because her sound is unique. Like I said, it's that timeless sound that can translate through many different areas. And look, hey, don't hate on Greenie here, right? You know, he just comes to send well wishes from another planet, or whatever. That's Zeldar from the planet Beldar. Those of you who know. If you don't know, well, I don't know what to tell you. I don't fucking know what to tell you. So, but yeah, man, like I say, you know, Missy was one of the best. Mia X, one of the best. Latifah, you got to give Latifah her props, right? She was cold. That is definitely an illegal alien. Well, what's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening?
Couldn't wait for my den this evening.
Miss Grace, how are you doing this evening?
Great. How was your Memorial Day? Did you cook out or anything?
No, I didn't do anything special. Didn't do anything out of the norm, honestly. Just kind of treated it like a regular day.
Okay. I was just quiet, you know. And I went to the graves yesterday, did that yesterday. But this topic, I feel like prizes, whether they be little gifts or prizes and people or whatever, you as an individual want it to be. You know, one woman's trash could be another woman's treasure. You know, and I myself, I'm one of those people. Sometimes you have to look for small favors as prizes.
Correct.
You know, and the prize is anyone who brings a gift or what you don't have or what you need more of to thrive. So if you need more love or you need the chance and opportunity to be a better man, for instance, you mean I can be the prize to support and allow you the opportunity to help you make yourself over or to bring out the better or the best in you. Then, in that case, then I'm a prize.
Okay.
You know, and I feel like this here, in relationships, if you can't enhance the quality of one another's life, what's the point? I wouldn't even waste my time.
I agree.
You know?
Definitely.
So, and some people think that they're a prize, you mean, that they bring an offering, for instance, like money or material things. But if someone like myself, if I make my own money and I'm comfortable with the amount of the material things and the money that I have, if someone brings more money to me, I may not consider that a prize. Some other woman might consider that a prize. I may not. You know, it's no difference in having a party and you have 5 delicious cakes there and somebody brings a 6th cake. I might appreciate the cake, but I'm not going to value it because it added no value to anything. You mean, so some women want just money. You mean, I don't want money, but I don't want anyone needing my money either.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, and a person can be the prize in what they bring to the table, the metaphor for life. You mean, they can bring something or they can take something away. You know, so if you have loneliness or something and somebody comes into your life and they take that away, then they become a prize. You know, because that's what you need at the time. They become the gift.
Okay.
Okay? And I was going to tell you something about, I have a friend named Dawn. I met through Jimmy Jam Uber guy.
Mm-hmm.
And she met her boyfriend. They worked in the same place. He was married. You know what I mean? He married into a very rich family, you know, and his ex-wife's parents paid for the house and the cars, and they had the business. They did this, that, and another. He wasn't happy in that relationship. So he ended up getting out of it and getting with Dawn. And Dawn's a real sweetheart, you know. And because he left his wife, she started hitting him up for all this child support. Dawn was helping him pay his child support. So then recently when I talked to her a couple of weeks ago, she said a bill came in of hers, and he got a lump sum, and he paid all her debt. And she just kept saying, Kathy, I'm so happy. She's been with him for 7 years.
Yeah.
She's so happy because that's what they give to one another. You help one another out, you know. But I would never think of myself just a prize, you know what I mean, unless I can really offer something to make somebody better. You know what I mean? Just like I wouldn't even consider myself a queen. I don't. You've heard of those wicked queens that chop off heads and bury men alive. Don't be calling me no damn queen.
So I have a question, Ms. Grace, because that's something I've noticed too, and it seems more so kind of from the female perspective than from the male perspective. When you see women, and again, who may be doing very well for themselves, and they have a significant other, and they decide to do something nice. I saw a situation where there was a girl, she was a YouTuber, and she bought her boyfriend a car, and she got a lot of flack for it. She got a lot of feedback for it, that people were, this, that, and the third is no good. You shouldn't have done this, that, and the third. Like, do you think it's wrong for a woman to buy something for a man or an expensive gift like that for a man that she is involved with?
If it's her money, that's her business. And if he added some kind of value to her life, that's her business. You mean? And if he turns out to be a no good guy and she wasted the money, well, then she'll learn from that. You mean? But I would have nothing to say about it. I really don't. It's not my business. It's not my money. If I want to buy someone something, that's my business. I don't want to hear anything from anybody else. And the same thing with the man that does things for me. I don't want him to be worried about what his friends and his family are going to say. He should say, I dig her, I love her, and this is what I want to do. The end. Other people need to mind their business. That's all to it. Okay. And just like, sometimes you get in a relationship, some people, like my best friend is a procrastinator. You might get into a relationship with someone that teaches you to no longer be a procrastinator, to be a better person. Then they become a gift. Right. You know what I mean? And I can't think of a more beautiful way for a man to show how important I am than to make sure that I'm happy, and they know the way to my heart, not just through my stomach, is through my kids. When you make me happy, you make them happy. When you do things to make them happy, then you make me happy. And that's the way it works. But it has nothing to do with a whole lot of money and things like that. I can make my own money. You mean the girls that sit and get jealous that woman brought her man a car because they can't afford to buy themselves a damn car, let alone a man. They're hating. But, any other questions?
No, ma'am. I have no further questions.
Okay, then. I'll see ya.
All right, Miss Grace. Well, I thank you for calling in. It's lovely to hear from you, as it is every evening. And so I appreciate you for calling in tonight. You have a good evening.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Shout out to Miss Grace. Well, yeah, what do y'all think about that? Because it was another one, too, that I was reading about a chick, and she had posted something up, I think for her anniversary. She had bought her husband, or she did something with his ring, either added some more diamonds to it or did something to it, something that cost a little bit of money, right? And there's too many people trying to be the prize that they need to focus on finally not being a burden. I agree. Shout out to Prepaid, man. Appreciate the love. But it was and what happened with this is, like, she posted it because I don't know. Like, this is why I said I started having questions about, like, equality and shit like that, because I don't think people truly want equality. I think people want, be able to one up somebody else. But it was a lot of women got upset with her for posting, I guess little upgrades or whatever she did, to the ring to improve it and whatnot. And they were, oh, he should be doing this for you, and this and this, and they like, yeah, I think it was like one of her most, viral tweets or whatever. And then she kind of posted on a follow up. She's like, it's kind of crazy that, I didn't even get this kind of feedback, when I showed, my husband when he, he did this, or he bought me this car, and he did this, all the things that he had done. She was basically saying like all the women were with it, and it was beautiful. It's what it's supposed to be, and but when she showed that she did something nice for her husband, like, she got called all kind of names, or she was dumb for this and she's stupid for that, and couldn't be me, pick me, all that other crazy shit that goes along with it. And it's so funny, man. I think what it is, I think really a lot of people are just unhappy. They can be unhappy with who they are, unhappy in their relation, unhappy with their life, whatever. And so they find ways to maybe validate their unhappiness, to justify it, to themselves somehow. But it's like, I don't understand what the problem is. If you got it and you can afford it, then fine. If he ain't finessing her and all this other stuff, and they're contributing to each other, and again, they're happy because she said something. I forgot. I think they either started businesses together or something. That's why they were doing pretty all right for themselves, So, and she was happy. If she was happy and she appreciated, what he did, or whatever their relationship, then why not? Like, I don't understand why somebody would be mad that someone else, did something nice for him. So it's crazy to me. I'm baffled by that. But again, like I say, you got people like that on this planet who do not want to see another soul happy, and it's crazy. Doja Cat is a prize. This is terrible. But let's see. What the hell are you talking about? Let's see. What a show. What kind of, No, these are definitely not the notes. I should have some crayons to, I guess, do notes and colors and add pictures with it, right? And a funny text message just made me think something. Have y'all seen, I don't know if y'all seen or familiar with Kev on Stage. It was super funny because it was a tweet he shared earlier. And the tweet was actually pretty funny. It was something along the lines of, I can't help but think of when I see two dudes getting breakfast together that they're gay. Like, what are y'all doing up so early and being together? Like, the way it was worded, something along that, and it was really funny. And he's just talking about why, is it that everything nowadays that dudes, the funny shit he said is like, everything nowadays is gay except for two dudes actually having sex with each other. Like, anything else you do, we'll call it gay, but two niggas having sex is not. Like, that's the funny shit. We'll come back to that. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we got calling into the den this evening?
What's good, Honcho? It's Prepaid.
Prepaid. What's the motherfucking deal, man? What's on your mind this evening, Mr. Prepaid?
Man, I'm kind of out of it, man. You're not doing in front of that fucking grill all day. My eyes burning and shit, so I'm kind of out of it. But
they've been putting in work.
They had a nigga, or they got me cooking all kind of shit, man. Niggas feel like I'm on one of them cooking shows. I'm just waiting for Bobby Flay to jump out the back and say, enough, time, nigga, time. Bruh. So, man, it's like this, man. Ladies, what I'm going to tell you is going to offend you, and it is what it is. Y'all are not the prize. And I'm not saying it from a standpoint of feeling like men are superior. What I'm saying is from a number standpoint. There are, and when I'm speaking from being the prize, I'm speaking from a black community, because the white community, I don't know the dynamics. But I don't know if you're doing the math from a black community standpoint. Do the math, okay, ladies? It's more y'all. There's more y'all with good jobs, right? There's more y'all who are educated. A black woman is the most educated group in America for the demographics, right? The black woman's most educated, okay? Higher education, doctors, lawyers, whatever the case may be. The black man is on the opposite side of that spectrum. So if you do the math, you take the black man population, you first of all take out the amount of black men who are incarcerated in prison, so that you X them off, okay? Then you look at the men who are gay, you X them off, okay? Then after that, you probably want to X out the men who you think might be down low, but you don't really know, so you X them off, right? Now, there's another group of men who you must X off and you don't want to X off, and that is the athlete, the rappers, the guys who you have no access to, okay? So once you get rid of that 5 group of men, now you're sitting at a person like myself. So what's more common, to run across me or for another woman who comes from a long line of successful women? That's why men are the prize. Now, when you find a good man, a person who's actually worthy of your time, ladies, he's going to be very much known that you are the prize. Everything of who I am as a person is because of my wife. All my success is because of her. She pushed me and found something. She's seen something in me that I didn't see in myself. And that's what you're looking for. You need somebody who's going to make you be the best version of you. Now, also, Honcho, when you get a chance, watch that video that Trill sent you, because the woman in the video gives a prime example of what's wrong with a lot of women. They don't want somebody who's going to push and be the best version of them. They want somebody who's gonna depend on them. And a lot of women need to understand something. A lot of y'all want a man who's simply gonna depend on you. You don't want the best version of yourself, and that's the main problem. Also, too many of us are looking to be the prize, like I said, and we all are burdens. Focus on not being a burden. Majority of the time, ladies, a lot of y'all call a dude, and as soon as he see your name pop up on the phone, he immediately goes, "Oh fuck, what the fuck she want now?" And that's a problem. People dread when you call. That's a problem. So that's the way I look at it. Now, again, I could be way off. I've been out the game for a long time, y'all. So I'm not even gonna bullshit with you. I just know once you get rid of the numbers of people that's in prison, niggas in prison, the gay niggas, the down low niggas, the athletes and the rappers who you have no chance of meeting, ladies. That's just how I view it.
Oh, and like John said, you also got to make sure you count out any niggas who date white girls, especially we talking about the black community. Y'all, y'all done got canceled.
Oh yeah. I don't even know how I forgot them. Also, the niggas who they clothes fit, they date white women, they definitely canceled. There's no chance you're gonna fuck with them. Then you probably, truth be told, we're probably going to exit the Umar Johnsons of the community, just because they just too fucking much. So you're probably gonna get rid of them. So at the end of the day, Honcho, I'm just saying, bro, you're the cream of the crop. It is what it is. Shit, I mean, let's call a spade a spade. So that's just the way I look at it. Now, again, that's not on me trying to shit on women because I don't look at it from that standpoint. But numbers are the numbers. And truth be told, fellas, if you a man on your shit, you really ain't got to put up with no woman who you ain't feeling. This bitch give you any slack, just cancel her. Because if you play the numbers, you're going to run into it eventually. I promise you. You're going to run into what you're looking for eventually because you just got to play the numbers. Women out, you know what I'm saying? Women outweigh men when it comes to, especially in the corporate world, I know for sure. There's definitely more female attorneys than there are males. There's definitely more female doctors than there are males. You just got to play the numbers, bro. And in truth be told, fellas, if you are a doctor, you don't need another doctor. You need you a badass nurse. So I'm just telling you, man, the numbers are on our side. Just stick to the program. But that's it for me, Honcho, man. I'm jumping to this chat, bro. Like I said, I'm beat. I've been on this grill too fucking long. I don't want to see no more meat for another week or two, bro. All salads. I don't give a shit. I'm just done. Salads and cereal, bro.
That's a bad thing.
And give me a holler.
All right, that's a bad prepaid, man. I appreciate the call, man.
Yep.
All right. Okay. Prepaid been holding down the grill. But that's a very interesting point, and I'm glad that he brought it up. I mean, if you're playing the numbers, if you are playing the numbers, it favors men. And again, you wonder why your homegirl and guy with, this, that, and the third. Whatever. I mean, the options are slim, and time. What was that? What movie was that? World, but it kept switching. Time is on my side. Yes, it is. What fucking movie was that? Every time he would touch the motherfucker, they would switch it up. But anyway, time isn't on your side, right? This ain't Fallen or Forever or whatever movie it was. But that's the thing, and then especially with women, like honestly. Like the things y'all buy into generally as a group is what's leading to y'all's detriment. But it works like that almost for everybody. We'll get to that in just a second. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this evening?
What's happening with you?
Mr. Love. How are you this evening, sir?
Doing all right. Hey, you good? Am I being Roman?
No, you're good. You're audible.
You got to make sure you don't put that BS on me no more. You know you wrong for that.
No, I would never unintentionally do such a thing.
Nah, but you talking about the prize in a relationship, man. All right, so here's my take on that. When you're talking about who is the prize in a relationship, doesn't that determine who the person is and what they deem or view as the prize? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, in your personal life, you are seeking a relationship. Do you feel like you are the prize, or do you feel like the woman that you decide to partner together with is the prize?
It kind of confuses me because if you're in a relationship with someone that you think is kind of inferior to you as far as who the prize is, and what you're doing with that person anyway. You know what I'm saying?
But do you necessarily have to
Unless-
think? Do you necessarily have to think that they're inferior?
Say it again, Hunter.
I mean, do you necessarily have to think that they're inferior? Or do you can
Well, I
you just
mean,
have
you
value
pose
for
the question,
yourself?
Let's say you think you are the prize in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
What would that say about the person you're dating? You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I'm trying to get an understanding on
That they're lucky.
that they're lucky.
Yeah, that they're lucky. That's what that means. That's what it says about them.
So they're lucky to have you.
Yeah, they're absolutely.
But do you feel the same way though? Do you feel as if you're lucky?
Yeah,
that you have them?
you feel lucky to have them. You know, but you could just feel like that you may have great faith and value and high self-esteem, and you may just feel that you know everything that you bring to the table. You hold that in high esteem, and you know that hey, maybe this individual, as much as you love them and care about them, they may have limits, but you're okay with that. You're fine with that. Doesn't mean like because here's the thing, right? People always want to think of love as like being in love 24/7. That's not what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like it's nothing like that. And so that's the thing. Like you can like somebody and be with somebody, like because like I said, I don't necessarily believe in like soulmates or things like that. Like I think there's so many people. I think there's a lot of cool people. I think it just matters about the time and when you cross paths with certain people and all that other stuff. But I think that you can really like care about somebody as much as humanly possible and still think that you're a prize, or that you are, still hold yourself in high esteem and high value, because that means you're going to take care of and you're going to value the thing that you're giving this person. So you're going to give this person the best version of yourself. So I think that's the best thing that you could do.
You know what? I agree with that. I agree that before people try to get into a relationship, they should take the time. They should take being single. The singleness, they should try to find from the singleness. I'm gonna put it like that, right? Because being single for a long period of time, just getting to know yourself and learning to enjoy your own company, you get to realize what you like and who you are as a person and what you require in a relationship. So that's when a lot of people see being single as being loneliness, that's a huge misconception. Because you can be in a relationship and still alone, right? You just got to learn how to enjoy your company. So during the process of being single, you learn what your values are. You learn what you bring to the table and stuff like that. And from there, you can draw on that and then set your standards and stuff like that and try to find somebody who matches that, right? And I believe that's what makes you the prize. I do believe that two people can be the prize in a relationship, and where one person lacks, the other person can compensate and take them out with that. So, being single, going through the single phase is important. So, you learn to get to know yourself, and you learn to you figure out who you are and what you as a person, and you try to get at to somebody, and hold your standards up. Make sure they also bring something to the table as far as that. So that's my take on that part.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I mean, I have nothing necessarily to add to that. So what are you looking for in your prize, Mr. D. Love? You're a young man out there navigating the world. Hopefully you find Mrs. D. Love, and so if you were seeking that out, what would ultimately be your prize if you were to have a prototypical Mrs. D. Love?
Dude said Mrs. D. Love, like, wow. All right, but you really something that I was gonna call in, spill my sausage and get out without you put me on the spot. Since you asked, the prize for me, it's a lot of stuff. I mean, I want a woman who loves herself. You know what I mean? Let's see. Her self-esteem ain't got to be through the roof, but I mean, like I don't want nobody with low self-esteem and stuff like that. And it ain't nothing against those kind of women. I just recommend that they work on themselves first. That's what I want to do. That's what I want. I want a woman who has taken the time to work on herself.
Mm-hmm.
and I want a woman that shares the same faith. I believe in God, I believe in Christ, so we gotta share the same faith and all of that. But
So they can't be Muslim?
Huh?
They can't be Muslim?
No, they cannot be Muslim.
What if everything else was just super compatible? I mean, just ideal. And because they were Muslim, you would not consider being in a relationship with them.
I would not.
Why not?
Because, like you said, if everything else was just, on point, as you said. I mean, I can't unequally yoke myself with another. It's much of a difference between, Jesus and Muhammad that a lot of people think. Like, the entire worldview is completely different and stuff like that. And for me, like, faith in Christ is very essential.
Mm-hmm. But do you think that having a significant other of a different religion can actually strengthen your faith in Christ? I mean, maybe you guys have discussions about your individual religions, and by you being able to defend all your points and counterpoints, then that actually makes you more adept and more informed. And not saying that you're not, but again, like I say, have maybe continues to test the strength, iron sharpens iron type thing. Of your faith in your religion, So why not give a lovely Muslim lady an opportunity? Why not? What's wrong with that?
She ain't gonna blow my house up at night.
Wow! Whoa! That was pretty prejudiced, D-Love. I've never heard you talk in such a demeanor. I mean, is it an issue with the amount of praying? Is that a problem?
Hey, I'm just playing. y'all.
No. Those were not jokes. Those were not jokes. That was a very angry D-Love. Oh, interesting. So, is it a pork issue? Are you a pork lover?
Say it again.
I said, is it a pork issue?
No. I mean, I do eat pork. And I just said, like, you have to share the same faith. Stuff like that. But that's really what it is.
Okay. I just find it interesting that you wouldn't consider dating a nice Muslim lady. What if they like? Do they have like the Muslims for Jesus thing? Like 'cause, they have like Jews for Jesus, right? And I don't know how that works or anything, but like, do they have like a Muslims? Like, do they have like a Muslims for Jesus thing? And so, like, what if she was like a Muslims for Jesus type person? Would you be able to entertain it then?
A Muslim for Jesus, I never heard of that before. I don't know how that was. But what I understand, Muslims, they believe in Muhammad. They do believe that Jesus exists. They just don't believe that he is God. From what I understand.
So you believe Jesus is God?
Yeah, and you brought up the Muslim. I said I wouldn't necessarily date a woman who has a different faith than me. I think it wasn't nothing specifically against Muslims.
I don't know. I mean, you made a statement about blowing up houses. I don't know who that would be in reference to, but you said it. So I'm just putting it out there. What about a nice Buddhist woman? Would you consider dating a nice Buddhist lady?
100.
What?
Because, like I said, I take my faith very serious, or at least I try to take it serious.
Yeah.
I guess I just got to read some of the scripture today, and I'm gonna need a woman that's gonna help me grow as a man of God, like in a man, grow in Christ.
Okay.
So, things like that, and I can't necessarily see myself achieving that with someone of a completely different faith.
All right. Well, what about a former preacher's wife? Would you date a former preacher's wife?
You're killing me, Honcho.
Or a preacher's ex-wife? Maybe I guess that's a better way to put it.
I personally, I don't think I would do that. I don't think I can bring myself to do that. I mean,
Why
she was
not?
married to the preacher. I mean, what was the cost of the divorce? I mean,
I don't know. The preacher was sleeping with women in the congregation, and she got tired of it, so she divorced him.
nah, I mean, I'm good on that too.
Well, what's wrong with
Yeah.
I mean, that's a woman who could help you with your faith. You take your faith very serious. I'm offering you a woman who could, I mean, basically, put your faith in the hyperbolic chamber and take it to over 9,000. You feel me? But you're not trying to work with me here. I mean, I'm just I'm trying to present you a
Right.
scenario because again, if she's a preacher wife, she must be adept and familiar with the knowledge,
Here's the thing,
so
Hunter.
she could help you with that, right?
Okay, but understanding that as per scripture, that if a man divorces his wife without there being a cause of infidelity or death or anything like that, then anybody like the next person that she or he marries could be guilty of adultery and stuff like that. So that's why I'm kind of cautious when dating somebody's wife or ex-wife or stuff like that.
But I mean, also in the Bible, doesn't it view it as basically any act of a man laying with a woman? Basically, that's your wife. I mean, just to put it in layman's terms, I mean, for the most part, you're laying with a woman, unless I guess she's a whore, as if you lay with your wife. I mean, even if you're not, there's no official term with it. But so that means you would entertain a woman who has maybe had partners, but maybe not committed legally in the eyes of the U.S. Would you still entertain that?
What was the question, Hunter? You was kind of cutting out.
I said, so would you still entertain a woman who had never legally been married, but has been with someone in an adult fashion?
Would I entertain a woman who has never legally been married but has been with someone in an adult fashion? Okay, that's the question.
Yeah, because I mean, technically, like if you've laid with somebody in the Bible, like that's basically marriage. It's supposed to be. I mean, I'm being very loose with it because of how I view. But I mean, even if you didn't go have a real ceremony, but you took this person in and laid with her as your wife, then you're basically man and wife. So that act is almost, a form of marriage, if you will. So even though it's not the current term that we use here in the U.S. today, but say that this person was with somebody else, so then technically she was married, so would it still be adultery? Would it still be, if we're going by the biblical terms?
Well, the Bible does say that it has a piece of paper saying that that they were married and stuff like that. But to answer your question, not sure. Maybe I guess as long as they wasn't married. I mean, fornication is against the Bible, but that can be forgiven. It's just the idea that if someone divorces their spouse without it being cause of adultery or death, which is why you say like till death do us part, and then they go on and get involved with somebody else.
But I'm saying that when I was talking about the preacher's wife, I was saying that was a divorce due to adultery because the preacher was cheating with women in the congregation, so he and the wife got a divorce. So that was due to.
Well, I mean, like if the cause of divorce was adultery, then according to the Bible, she would be free from the law of marriage.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, so you would entertain dating a preacher's ex-wife if there was a justifiable cause of divorce?
Yeah, I would justify that entertaining a woman who meets my value criteria. Put it that way.
Okay. All right. Are you gonna be a preacher? Are you gonna be a preacher one day, D-Love?
You know what? People have brought that to my attention, but I really don't see myself as a preacher. Anything like that, and that's up.
What about being a hip hop preacher?
That I can definitely see. Like E.T.
Yes.
Biggest inspiration.
Yes, that's the reference I was making. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, he offering like a coaching class for like 2,000. I'm like, I ain't with all that, but yeah, I can definitely see that. So, no, that's it, Hunter. go ahead and get back to the show with some of this.
All right, D-Love. Well, I appreciate you calling in, sir, and allowing me to harass you for a bit. Thank you for being a good sport.
Okay. Yeah, don't be getting a Discord with your headphones off and your neck. And like, what's the point of showing up if you're not getting a
Look. Sometimes, you know, I just, you know, I gotta let y'all know that I'm there with y'all. But sometimes, you know, I got things I be having to do. Sometimes I forget to cut the sound back on. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes, hey, you know, I'm just letting y'all know. I got nothing but love for y'all, and I appreciate y'all. Sometimes I can't just be on the Discord the whole time.
All good. We appreciate it anyway. I'm going to go ahead and get off.
All right. Well, I appreciate y'all, man. Thank you, sir.
See you later.
All right. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got coming into the den this evening?
Hey, Honcho, how you doing, man? It's Keith down in Atlanta, bro.
Triple OG player, Mr. Keith. How are you this evening, sir?
Honcho, I'm good. I'm good for real. And you talking about love on tonight?
Yeah.
And relationships, right?
Yeah, something like that. Who do you feel like is the prize in a relationship? Is it the man or is it the woman?
Shit, well, you know, we both prizes. I'm gonna start my story. She start hers.
Okay.
Well, here's where I'm at, right? Look, Honcho.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody listening, I'm like this. God has given us many gifts. The greatest gift of all is love oneself. But the greatest thing is to love and be loved in return. Ain't no other feeling like it. When you're carrying those beautiful emotions and feelings, man, that's good. It's all good. It's all good. And I got to give you thanks and props, man, because look, you plugged me with Miss Grace on the three-way, and the whole world heard it.
That is true. But, you know, I mean, you the man that made that happen. I had nothing to do with that, man. You know, that you the man that reached out after a while. You know, you did your due diligence and your research, and you found the information that you felt was necessary to make contact. So, you know, I just used the platform to, you know, allow y'all to have a little conversation. So, I mean, that's all you, man. You the man of the hour.
and I appreciate it, right? Because life is really good, man. And I'm happy, right? And the story's unfolding. I'm loving it. I'm really enjoying it, man. I just want to shout out, man. And I know she's listening, so it's all good. I'm good. We're gonna let somebody else call, but that's the true story. The greatest gift. No, we're gonna say the greatest thing is to love and be loved in return, man. You already know, right?
Already, yes, sir. To be loved, and to love and be loved in return, man. I can agree with that.
All right, then. I'll holler at y'all later.
All right, Mr. Keith, I appreciate you calling in this evening, sir. All right. No disagreeing with that. Ain't no disagreeing with that. What's the motherfucking deal, man? We got calling into the den this evening.
What's good, Honcho?
Dakota, what's the motherfucking deal? What's on your mind this evening, sir?
Nothing much. Just want to, you know, touch on some points. I heard a couple callers call in and, you know, I had some very good calls. Shout out to my nigga Prepaid and D-Love, man. You know,
Okay.
Prepaid was spitting some facts. D-Love was talking a bunch of bullshit. I ain't understanding that. That's my nigga, man. I was just fucking with you, D-Love. But now, as far as... Nah, they closed, love. As far as women being the prize, I mean, y'all know my stance. Y'all know how I feel, especially about black women, so I'm always lean towards, yes, they are the prize. And my reasoning behind that is because that same math Prepaid gave, you know, you got the niggas out here who screaming black power and they married to white women. Then you got the niggas out here that don't know what the fuck they want to do, whether they want to be straight or gay. Then you got the niggas that's always fucking over women. And then you just got typically just ain't shit niggas. So it leaves you to 1% like the Prepaids, the me, the D-Loves, you know, of the world. But I wasn't always this good dude, this saint. I mean, there's a particular story that I have told, and just Sarah loves to hear me tell the story because for some reason she has a strange fetish with it. I don't know, but it took the right woman for me to get my act together and straighten up, and that was my wife. So in my case, she was the prize, and just like Prepaid said in his case, his wife was the prize because she unlocked something in him that he didn't see in himself. And it takes the right woman to do that. Not a man is gonna settle down with what he wants to settle down with. And women, you gotta understand something. If a nigga cheating on you and he constantly cheating on you, and you know it's always some shit with that nigga, he don't want to change for you because you not what he want. You're not in his long-term plan. When I met my wife, I knew I had to come to her correct. Like, I would just pull up to her doors, honk the horn, knock out. I mean, they didn't come out at a certain time. I'm looking at my watch, I'm looking at my phone. All right, 10 minutes passed. I blew, she ain't coming. Stab off, go meet up with the next. But with my wife, it was like, let me get out, you know, go knock on the door. I sat in her father's office and told him, your daughter ain't no hit it and quit it to me. I'm gonna marry her. And a year later, we got married. So the right woman can be a prize, just like the right man can be a prize. There are men out here that's, you know, taking broken and abused and battered women, cleaning them up, and teaching them something and having them say and recognizing the potential they had in themselves. So yes, men can be the prize too. But for me, it's always going to be that right woman, because that right woman that knows what she wants, that we call stuck up, because she knows what she wants and she know how to go get it. Oh, she the stuck up bitch. We don't want to fuck with her because she ain't just so eager to pull her panties off for us. And all men are guilty of that, including me. As soon as the girl didn't want to pull her panties off, oh man, that bitch stuck up. She ain't gonna let me hit fuck her. Let me go holler at the neighborhood hoe. Let me go holler at the bitch I know I can smash. So with that being said, there are a lot of fuck women out here. There are a lot of piece of shit, ain't shit bitches out here. But the ones that are the queens, the ones that are the prize, they not out here getting the love they deserve. They not out here making a big deal about shit because, you know, a good mom gonna do what she gotta do for her kids. She ain't out here worried about the next nigga or the next bitch or stunt or trying to stunt for motherfuckers she don't know. She out here getting, trying to take care of her kids.
Right.
The woman that's trying to, you know, graduate college, you know, do what she got to do for herself, so when she do get married and have kids, she'll have that foundation laid. Them the girls that don't get no love. Them the girls we call stuck up bitches. Them the ones that we say don't exist. When they out here, we just looking for that quick nut. We just looking for that easy fix. So yeah, to me, women are the prize. That right woman is the prize, because you can run into a woman that can tell your whole fucking life down.
So would you say it's a gamble for that prize?
Not really, because if you know what game you playing, then you know I got this saying, I only play games I can win. So if you know the rules of the game and what you playing for, then no, it's not a gamble, because no matter how you slice it, whatever result you end up with, that woman is going to elevate you in ways you never knew were possible.
Okay.
And again, back to my story, like my wife, I didn't know it wasn't possible to cheat on a chick. That wasn't conceivable to me. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna be a cheater till the day I die. Yeah. And then I met my wife, and she showed me a different side of love. I was like, whoa. At first, I rejected it. I didn't know what to do. I was like, man, this chick crazy. What the fuck is wrong with her? I'm scratching my head like, what the hell? Like, she ain't acting the way she's supposed to act. Because I didn't know what real love looked like until I met my wife. I was like, oh, okay, this is what, this is something different. This is what it is. I like this. I can't fuck this over. I'm gonna be faithful to this.
Okay. Well, yeah, I feel you on that one. I definitely feel you on that one. But and I feel you, and I agree to an extent when you say that the woman's. But and again, I'm kind of the individual, because I think it depends on factors, what's being brought to the table, and so it's hard for me to just say anyone as a whole. But in this day of Snapchat and Instagram and all this free attention via social media and all that, do you think that's tainted the numbers a bit for women that you would say that would be considered the prize versus women who, as Prepaid mentioned, are more of a burden than a prize?
Repeat the last part. I didn't hear.
I was saying, because Prepaid used the term, some people think they're a prize, but they're actually a burden. So we'll use it like that. So burden and prize. Would you say that social media, the free attention, the Snapchats, the Instagrams, the OnlyFans, all of these things, would you say that has tainted the numbers of women that you would be maybe considered a prize versus the number of women that you would consider a burden?
Yes and no, in a way. Yes, because now we can see the thoughts. We can see the ain't shit women. They're just in our face. But no, because the real women that aren't like that, not really on social media. They're not concerned with having a bunch of followers. So we gotta learn how to spot them.
Well,
we gotta learn how to spot the woman. Oh, go ahead.
No, no, but you kind of went to the point I was just saying. It was like, so, but doesn't that make it more difficult? Because what's the saying? The squeaky wheel gets the grease, right? Marketing is everything. So when you see an influx of these women, and the majority of the women that you are seeing are doing some type of attention-seeking behavior, does that not? I mean, and I agree that you kind of have to look for the other ones. They're in the obscure places, and it's whatever it may be. And then especially in this day and age of consent and Me Too and what's considered appropriate, interaction and stuff, and some of the most vague shit. But yeah, you have to really do some hunting. But at the same time, but does that not cast, like, would you not say it's women that are casting this image, or is it the men because the women are doing this because they know that it gets the men's attention?
Some are doing it because it gets the men's attention. Some just want a nigga to pay their bills. Mm-hmm. So the numbers are skewed to where the more ain't shit women are in the forefront. But that just, for a nigga like me, that just makes it easy because I can spot you. Oh, you the enemy. That's cool. You got a big target on your back saying I'm the enemy. I know what you are. I'm going to put you in this box and keep it moving.
Yeah.
If you want to give me some ass, I take it, whatever. Mm-hmm. But I ain't trying to wife you. Mm-hmm. So with the numbers being so out there and in your face, it actually makes it easier to spot the more ain't shit women, and not be. It makes it easier to spot the more ain't shit women and learn how to not fall for the bullshit, opposed to going after the right woman. I don't think Chick-fil-A open.
Well, that's 10 o'clock. Chick-fil-A shut down after 10, huh?
Oh yes, they shut it down.
Mm-hmm. I was talking about the other day. I saw an old lady in a Chick-fil-A line on a Sunday. She's sitting there. I'm like, lady, you're the only person in this entire parking lot. Like, you don't see this thing ain't open. But yeah. Appreciate the love, Anonymous. We'll just leave it like that. I'm not reading this comment or acknowledging this mask. But okay. So essentially, to me, what you're saying is everybody plays their role. Everybody has their part that they play in the problem. But so people should be really just trying to weed out all the problematic individuals to find that compatible person that is that prize, that suits the needs that they're looking for. Is that what you're saying? Yeah,
and I'm gonna leave y'all with this before I go. the right woman or the right man, you will know. It ain't no searching for them. When they pop up in your life, you gonna know. I didn't believe the shit was true until I met my wife. So you will know who that person is, who that right person is for you. You ain't got to do a whole bunch of searching. You ain't got to do a whole bunch of looking. And the best thing to do if you're trying to find that soulmate, stop looking for them. Work on yourself, and they will come to you.
Okay.
And, you know, that's my call. So, I might.
All right. Let's appreciate the call, Mr. Dakota.
No problem.
Already. Bet. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening?
Hey, Honcho?
Yes, ma'am. Hello.
It's got to be my phone tonight because I can't hear you.
I'm not sure. I can hear you. I don't know. You can't hear me at all?
It's got to be my phone. I'll call you back.
Okay. Oh, snap. I'm not sure. I think I know what might have happened, actually. Let me see. It's going to be something super stupid. Yep. I know exactly what the fuck it is, too. Something goofy. All right, watch. I know it's going to work now. It better work. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening?
Ashley.
Hello, Ashley. How are you doing this evening?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Life is good. No complaints. Are you a fan of Sean King?
Am I a fan of what?
Are you a fan of Sean King?
No.
No. Okay, I just put a link to it. I said I linked. I put a link to an article about him in there that somebody just wrote about him. I don't know why people still give him money, but anyway, I know you were a fan of Talcum X. The topic is, who is the prize in a relationship, Ashley? In your opinion, who is the prize? Is it the man or is it the woman?
I think they both can be the prize.
I think they both can be the prize.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what do you think? What is a prize? What does the term "the prize" mean to you?
Actually, I don't know. I guess that just means like you're more grateful to have them, or, like you feel like that's the one. I guess I don't know.
Okay.
What do you think?
To me, a Karen. Oh, fucking shit, it's crazy. I'm sorry, my fault. To me, I mean, a prize. I'm sorry, I saw someone come off the screen about a Karen. A prize is, I think it's self-worth, self-value, right? And knowing that, I mean, look, there's no evenness in relationships. There's never going to be two people that are just going to come into a situation perfectly even in their respective ways. I mean, there's no measurement for it. So, I mean, there's no real gauge. But one person is generally going to have a noticeable set of skills in a certain area or a department or whatever. It's just going to be better at certain things. You know what I mean? It doesn't necessarily mean that they're a better person. It's just that I'm probably more valuable than you, right? And so I think that's just kind of what it is to be the prize. But again, it goes based on what you think value is. Some people value looks. Some people value fake titties and fake asses. Some people value, I don't know, old fucking toys and shit. I mean, it just depends on what you fucking value. I know that has nothing to do with a relationship, but I'm just throwing it out there. But and so I think that the prize can be different depending on different folks. But ultimately, I mean, if we're talking in real generalizations, like, who do you feel brings more into a relationship, a man or a woman?
Brings more? It just depends on what stage of life they're in and, what they've been through. But I would say a woman.
So you say women bring more into the relationships?
Yeah.
Why do you?
There's more pressure.
Why is there more pressure?
There just is. Like, you have to be a more decent person. You have to raise your kids well, or at least try to. I mean, I guess men do that too, but you know, I guess finding a woman that'll do all that when you're not around. I mean, I guess it's a good thing, you know. I don't know. I guess it's just different being a guy and a girl.
Okay. Why are all women racist?
Racist?
Yeah.
Well, I'm racist because, no. I'm kidding. I don't think women are racist. Why do you say that?
So we should believe all women? Is that what you're saying?
What? That they're racist?
I mean, you know the saying, believe all women, right? Should we believe all women?
No.
Why not?
Well, why would you believe anybody? Like, all of everyone? You have to know the person individually. You can't just say, like, oh, you're a woman, I trust you.
Mm-hmm. Do you think Joe Biden touched that lady?
I don't know. I mean, like, honestly, I don't know what she looked like then, but she certainly isn't appealing. I don't see it, but then again, I don't know the time frame or the context, or if she was drunk, whatever. I don't know.
Okay. All right. What do you feel about Doja Cat? How do you feel about Doja Cat?
About her being in that alt-right forum?
Yeah.
I don't find a problem. I mean, I think it's weird, but I mean, who cares what she does?
Do you hang out in alt-right forums?
No, I did used to troll Stormfront, though. I did for like a long time.
Well, what did you get out? What did you get out of that?
I don't know. I was just complaining about certain groups.
Okay. That's interesting. All right. What do you think about the lady who choked her dog and then called 911 and said a black man was attacking her?
What?
You can see the video of the lady.
I never heard about that.
There was a lady in Central Park basically strangling her fucking Cocker Spaniel rescue dog. And a guy was saying something about, I think, it not being leashed or whatever. And in the park, like the dog's supposed to be leashed. And she has a mask on and everything. So she calls the cops, or calls 911 on him and says that she's being attacked by a black man. But the whole time she's like choking the fuck out of this dog, I guess trying to put the leash back on him or whatever. The dog's just happy to be here. He doesn't know any better. So, but yeah, it was a very, very unfortunate incident.
So, I didn't see that.
That was a woman. She was racist. So see, women are racist.
I'm not surprised. I mean, those types, tend to be conniving, I would say. Very stinky. They're masterminds at propaganda. Yeah, that's a lot of things.
Okay, and I agree, Shaolin, and I'm a big fan of Thomas. So I think if more people paid more attention to Thomas Sowell, I think the world would be a lot better place. And that's Thomas Sowell. You should check him out. He has a bunch of videos on YouTube and stuff like that. You should just check him out, hear what he has to say. I think it makes a lot of sense. Very intelligent, older black gentleman.
Okay.
But definitely a fan of his thinking. And, he grew up in Harlem, like in the 40s or something like that. So, again, that's an anonymous. Fuck you. Appreciate the love. So, Sal is the greatest. He's smooth, man. You ever see him debate too? He was it was a very interesting debater. Dre says, "What's up, Ashley? How are you this evening?"
Oh, I say hello. I'm fine.
All right. Ashley, why are you such a bad person?
I don't know. I was born this way.
You're born that way.
Terrible. It's terrible.
Well, what's that? See, Heidi, you put Sal last because he's a black man, and you're a racist. You're a racist. I knew you were a racist, Heidi. That's why. Okay. So, You think both people can be the prize. It just depends on who is what. In your relationship, would you say you've been the prize, or would you say that, the gentleman that you've been
Me?
with are the prize? Yes, you.
I mean, I guess I was surprised because I'm younger, but I mean, I didn't really bring, I wasn't really doing anything. I was just young.
So who do you think benefited more out of that, you or the gentleman?
Well, he did, because I let him touch me. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I guess I did, obviously, but,
Okay.
he thought it was a fair trade-off. So.
Okay. I'm just asking, curious. I mean, so in most of your interactions, would you say that they've gone kind of that way, that you feel like you're more the beneficiary more so, but they're happy about their trade-off?
Yeah, I mean, I guess these are like real relationships. I don't, it's not like it's not like I'm saying, oh, give me this. They think I deserve it, so they give it to me. Anyways.
Okay. Well, I mean, if they're happy, that's all that matters ultimately. If they feel like it's worthwhile. Okay.
Well, what about you? You're the prize?
Am I the prize?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say so. No, seriously. I definitely say so. Because I make it it is very important to me that no matter the person who I'm with, and I'll tell them all, if I'm with somebody, I'll tell them that, whether you and I work out or not, I always want you to be better for having been with me, instead of being worse. And so I'm going to always make sure that, there's going to be certain things, depending, like if it's somebody that I actually said I'm going to engage in a relationship, but if it's just somebody I'm fucking, I don't give a fuck. But if it's something that I'm going to engage in a relationship with, then, there's certain expectations, there's certain conversations that need to be had, there's certain levels of understanding that must be had, otherwise it's not going to work, otherwise it's going to be an issue. So, but my thing is, ultimately, I'm going to make sure that person is better, again, like I say, after having been with me. If we don't, remain whatever, I'm going to motivate, I'm going to inspire, I'm going to encourage, I'm going to be your number one fan. I'll be your number one cheerleader, all that other good shit that goes with it. But again, there are expectations, there are understandings, there are assurances that must be had. So, I operate slightly differently, but I think most people should be like that. I would think, I assume, I don't know. So. Because I think, after entertaining, my presence is going to be, I think, you're going to make better decisions. You're going to have a better understanding. Like it's a lot of things. Like I say, it's just, again, it depends on the individual. I guess it would be easier to explain it that way. And then, I don't know, maybe one day I'll bring some old friends on, and, they'll explain it to you. And, that's just what it is, like I say. So, but we'll see.
Right.
Hmm?
Yeah. I once said I was talking to this guy. I said I was talking to this guy, not like dating or anything, but, just a friend. And he was like talking about his ex, and he was like, oh my God, I made this girl a woman. And like, started going off. Like, I don't know. These guys are funny that way.
No, I don't, what the fuck is going on? Yeah, so it's a bunch of tomfoolery. What the fuck? All right. Yeah, it's definitely time for me to get off of this. It's crazy. That's something we'll definitely have to talk about, but I guess that's a good thing. I don't know. I have no further questions, ma'am. Is there anything else that you would like to discuss or possibly like to speak on this topic?
Yeah, I wondered, can I submit my mixtape so you can add it to the outro music?
Yes, yes. You submit your mixtape. If it's hot fire, I will.
Dial on.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we can go with that. Yeah, okay. That's crazy stuff. All right. Well, I thank you for calling, ma'am, and wrapping up the show this evening. And 'cause it is about that time, so you get to say you ended the den properly. So thank you, ma'am.
Okay, good night.
All
Thanks
right.
for taking my call.
All right. I
Bye.
appreciate you calling. Goodbye.
Okay.
I do have to do this because I almost forgot. Because it did call back in between. Miss Bell will wrap up the show this evening. How are you, Miss Bell?
I'm doing well. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Loud and clear.
The reason I wanted to call back was something about that Prepay had said about being a burden in the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I think that when somebody's a burden is when they're just not carrying their own weight, whether it's the male or the female. We are the prize when we live up to our potential and we give a plan to that other person about what we want to do with our goals and we're working towards them. That also helps show that we are being a prize because we're bringing something to the table. And if you're just being potential, then that burdens the other person.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that's just women or just men. That can be either person.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of, I was surprised he went with that, but he's not wrong either. And the white community, it's not far different from the black community. The only difference we have to look at is that there's a lot of mass murderers that are white. We have to deal with the pedophiles. We have to deal with the men that, just don't know their head from their ass. So, it's really not much different than anything else. And the older you get, the smaller the gene pool gets.
Mm-hmm.
Just remember that. Even if you're not wanting to reproduce and have kids, just to have intellectual conversation or them just not wanting to hit it and quit it or no strings attached bullshit happens a lot more as they get older. And I don't know if it's my generation or it's a life generation now that people just sometimes don't want to be serious about crap and don't want to take it to the long haul. I was with my aunt and uncle, and they just celebrated 50 years together in December. And one of the things that we were talking about was the fact that the younger generation doesn't realize that in each long-term relationships, this hurdles that you get over as a team together. Sometimes the husband's going through it, sometimes the wife's going through it. And if the girl's friends tell her that she shouldn't be buying a man a ring with extra diamonds on it, then sometimes they're coming at it from a place of envy because they may not have a man that treats her that good. And a guy that, his buddies are saying, hey, you don't need to be doing this and doing that for your wife, is maybe they're not living up and doing that for their relationships. The bottom line is when you're in a partnership, it becomes you and them against the world. And not listening to everybody else's bullshit and knowing what's right for the two of you and the team that you're in. That's the bottom line of the prize. Because at the end of the day, we all get up in the morning and get out of bed and need to brush our teeth before we even say hi to our partner. And if they're willing to hug us and give us a kiss with all that, then we're both prizes.
Or you could both be nasty.
Yep, because that is nasty. And the best way to, and one of the things years ago I used to say is if you can tolerate knowing that you may have to change that partner in diapers, then you know that you're willing to be there for everything.
Yeah.
This is one thing, and I'm sure that you guys have all heard it, but it's called once a man, twice a child. And so if you marry somebody when they're grown, as adults, in the long run, at the end of our life, we go back as being children, needing to be taken care of. And that's what long-term couples look at, is the fact is who's going to be there for me at the end. If you're just in it for a hit it and quit it, then be real about it and own it. Don't drag that person along and saying, yeah. 3, 4, 5 years down the road, you knew that it wasn't that, but you wanted to wait for something better. When you didn't put all the potential into that relationship, you're screwing yourself out of the prize.
Okay. I can agree with that. Like if you are dealing in a situation, you're not going all in. Like say you just on some, testing the waters type stuff, and those things fall through.
Cruise control.
You have to own that. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So.
It's sometimes what's that old saying? Fish or cut bait.
Fish or cut bait. Yeah.
And that's what relationships really are, because dating is like fishing. You catch whatever's on the hook and you decide whether you're going to throw it back in the pond or you're going to keep it for it to be the prize.
Would you say that when dating that there are plenty of fish?
Well, the pond gets a hell of a lot smaller as you get older. And the type of fish you might want might not be in that pond, so you might have to change ponds, but that's how dating is. At least it used to be. I don't know, because I'm really not doing that right now. And I will say this. I think that in my case, I bring a lot to the table for the fact that I don't expect somebody to take care of me, but I do want to enjoy somebody. I don't have to have somebody, but I want to be able to enjoy somebody. And the burden is when they're more needy than I'm able to give.
Yeah.
That happens on both sides. The other thing is if you're looking and want to be in a relationship, figure out whether or not you're ready to be healthy in a relationship or you don't want to be alone. Because there's a lot of people that are willing to be in a relationship just because they don't want to be alone. And that's what makes toxicity really high. And I see a lot of lack of ownership in that in the younger generations on some levels.
Yeah.
And I could be wrong about it, but I just, it's just sad. And somebody had commented about child support is a man's burden. No, it's both parents' burden. The woman obviously birthed the child, and yes, the man was in the child's life. It's the parents' financial responsibility. It's not the step-parents coming in. It's not the one dating the person who has children. It's when I raised my children, it was my responsibility. It wasn't anybody else's to fortify my financial life just so that I could go out on a date. When my husband and I, when our kids were young, we made sure that a family member could take care of them so that we could go out. But we both made that choice. We both worked together on that, And I've had friends that if they've gone out, women bring something to the table when they own their own financial responsibilities and not put that burden on a date. That already tells a man that I want you for your money and we'll see what you get later on. And that starts a relationship out right in a financial spot rather than it being, hey, I'm taking care of mine, you take care of yours, and we're both coming to this table equally. If a woman comes and says, hey, I need you to take care of my kids, he's already got the burden of responsibility on her end, on his end. And it doesn't make her more valued, it makes her less valued because she's having an expectation that she shouldn't. It's the child's father's expectation to pay for their care, not the new person coming in. And that goes for a woman, too. If a man's raising his kids, it's not a woman's responsibility to pay for child care either. If they choose to do it, that's something different. And I'm babbling on, so I'm going to let you go. But again, the prize is whether you choose to keep the fish, and if not, throw it back.
All right, I agree.
Gently.
Yeah, and if you hold on to a useless fish for too long, it's gonna get old and stinky. You'll regret it. And I don't know. Yeah, I agree. Definitely plenty of fish out there. If you know you don't want what you caught, throw it back. So I definitely.
And that's another reason. Okay, and this is my last point. That's another reason that people date in different ponds, which is interracial dating, because they're not finding what they want in their own pond.
That is interesting. We definitely going to talk about that again. So I heard a very interesting comment from someone the other day, but it could be a whole topic in itself. But we'll go there one day. Okay. Well, Miss Bell, I appreciate you calling back in and sharing your thoughts with us this evening. So, Miss Bell, you actually started off the den and closed out the den. So, shout out to Miss Bell.
Well, great way to start the summer for the Memorial Day weekend.
I agree.
All right, good night.
All right, good night. All right, shout out to Miss Bell. I'm going to get ready to wind it down here. Here's the deal. We're going to slide into the Discord. We'll be in the Discord for a little bit, chopping it up after this. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to talk about, and I'll share the Discord because you guys can share some videos and some other things that I was talking about throughout the stream. And then I'll share some more of those Twitter things I was talking about. You got to be careful with Twitter because I can't just scroll down my Twitter feed. I might see some stuff that I'm not supposed to be showing on YouTube. I've seen things happen on Twitter. Bad things. Anyway, but I appreciate all of y'all, man, for coming through this evening. I really do. I thank y'all, man. Shout out to everybody who called in tonight. Shout out to Anonymous. Yeah. Shout out to Prepaid Heidi. Appreciate the love. Shout out to 335, man. Appreciate the love. Miss Grace, appreciate the love. But, just, again, for those of you who are inquiring on if you want to become a member, if you want the green name, you go to hit the join button at the $1.99 tier. You get the green name, you get the badge. I think a couple people's badges have actually turned to the next month. Some people have, I think, blue badges now. Some people still have green. So you get the green name, you get the badge by your name that changes after so many months. To let you know your status. You get the access to the emojis and things like that. If you want to become a member of the channel, hit the join button. You can support via the Patreon. We're gonna do movie night sometime. Maybe let's shoot for this Friday. And I was thinking movie night. We can come to an agreement or something via Netflix. And maybe Friday night after the stream, I say we have some sort of movie night in the Discord. So we'll see what's up. I think that'll be very interesting. And we still got to figure out how we're going to do the karaoke nights, things like that. So if you're not a part of the Discord, man, it's stuff like it's a whole next level conversation from the den, especially getting to chop it up live with the den folks. So make sure you're there. I'll put the link to the Discord in the chat as we're wrapping everything up. But I appreciate y'all being here, man. And again, Ed Honcho HTX on Instagram and Twitter. Make sure you follow. And if you follow, I don't follow you back on Ed Honcho, just let me know. I generally try to follow back, especially on the gram. And then, let me see here. And then Show Live at Facebook. Any of the links you need are in the description below. So, again, if you need to know any of the socials or anything like that, it's all in the description. So, to make sure all the links are there to make it as convenient as possible. But I know people don't ever want to click that shit. So, it is what it is. But, with that being said, we need to do another mix. We had a little mixer crew last night. Appreciate y'all. You can use it phone or PC. You can use it on both. It's very versatile. So Kelly Cole, what's the motherfucking deal? So we gonna Good Boy. Man, I watched Good Boys actually. I think I watched it the other day. It was funny. But I think I fell asleep on it, honestly. I think I fell asleep on it. I didn't like the little black kid. He was a bitch. They made that little nigga a bitch. Oh my God, he was the worst. I'd have to fight that little kid. If that was like my little partner, he'd be the little nigga. You know, like you don't want to fight that nigga because you know you don't get no brownie points for fighting him. But he just did so much little hoe acidry. You know what I'm saying? And he couldn't help it because it was just in his nature. But he'd be like one of them little niggas. You'd be so mad. You'd have to like check him a little bit, only because he doesn't know any better. Shit, I wish I had some. I ain't had no barbecue today. I got quarantined from the barbecue. So, you know, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it was fun. I ain't gonna lie. It was funny for the most part that I did see. But like I said, we're gonna slide to Discord. I'm chucking up a deuce. Y'all be cool like y'all be cool. Be in the voice chat talking big shit. Make sure you're there. First person we're gonna talk about is Shelly Catfish Long. And just because I need to talk about somebody, so we're gonna talk about Shelly first when we get up in the Discord. But I appreciate all y'all. Y'all ain't got to go home. Again, the link to the Discord is right there. Come join. Even if you only want to be in the voice chat, or if you want to be in the text chat, just listen to some of the voice chat. Some of the greatest conversations happen in Discord. Shout out to Cultured, the Don of the Discord, especially for the way you got it all set up, and just man, it just really brought this community together. I think some of the more deeper interactions have happened on the Discord, and I think it's a beautiful thing. But deuces. I'm out. Appreciate all y'all. Same damn time tomorrow. Same damn channel. If it don't get the notification, we're gonna try to go live for 9. But for some reason, like I said, the last few days it ain't been doing it. I'm out. Boo on Heidi. That's all I got to say about that. Rubber, your glue, whatever you say bounces off of me and sticks to you. Unless it's something good, then it gets through. Freestyle King. Hold up, baby. I'm gone.